two pilots took off on their training mission off the coast of Virginia on a bright, clear day in April 2014. The two F/A-18s were a part of a Navy fighter squadron, ascended to a height of 12,000 feet, and turned towards W-72, a restricted area of airspace 10 miles to the east of Virginia Beach. In the training area, military planes operate without colliding into each other, and all the traffic there has to pass through a single GPS point at a specific altitude, just as the jets were about to cross the threshold. At the entry point, one of the pilots noticed a dark gray cube inside of sphere at the entry point and was immobile against the wind. They zoomed past the object only 100 feet apart. That was a very risky move, as the outcome would have been fatal if they crashed by something that they wasn't supposed to be there. The training was terminated immediately, and the pilots returned to base. This incident is sure to have given you goosebumps. And it did so to the pilots too, who finally spoke up after almost a decade of the near-miss collision. Back then, there was no Pentagon report on UAPs. Despite the frequency of the encounters and the severe risk posed by the hazard, it took the Navy 5 years to adopt a formal UFO reporting structure. The first batch of these reports, heavily redacted and spanning only a few months in 2019, makes clear that the US government faces a significant challenge. For months before and after the incident, air crews flew in exclusive use training areas off the US East Coast, as it had frequently observed unknown objects exhibiting highly anomalous flight characteristics. Despite the collision hazard posed by the UFOs, aviators lacked a formal mechanism to report the mysterious objects to higher authorities. In another encounter, an aviator noticed an object with flight characteristics unlike anything I had seen in my years of service, implying a particularly anomalous encounter. The following is the testimony of Ryan Graves, one of the 4 pilots who narrowly escaped the collision in April 2014. These were no mere balloons. The unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, accelerated at speeds up to Mach 1, the speed of sound. They could hold their position, appearing motionless, despite Category 4 hurricane force winds of 120 knots. They did not have any visible means of lift, control surfaces, or propulsion. In other words, nothing that resembled normal aircraft with wings, flaps, or engines. And they outlasted our fighter jets, operating continuously throughout the day. I am a formally trained engineer, but the technology they demonstrated defied my understanding. If a highly trained, experienced pilot could be this shaken up about the incident, it has got to be something out of the world. Unidentified flying objects being spotted near water bodies is actually a very common occurrence. There have been many mysterious sightings in or around oceans in the past. Avi Loeb, a Harvard astrophysicist who doesn't hesitate to swim in the shark-infested waters of controversy, is proposing a major effort to find aliens in our solar system, perhaps even planning an expedition to retrieve fragments of a meteor from the ocean floor. Yes, 8 years ago, a meteor believed to have been 2 feet long entered Earth's atmosphere at more than 100,000 miles an hour, before exploding into tiny, hot fragments and falling into the South Pacific Ocean. By analyzing the debris, he is hoping to determine the object's origins, even going so far as to make the extraordinary suggestion that it could be a technological object created by aliens. The public has been whipsawed by stories of UFOs, UAPs, and more. For several decades, UFO believers have been belittled by serious scientists for making extraordinary claims without offering any extraordinary evidence. Now comes a credentialed researcher who actually seems ready to step in to help. It's about time we actually pay some attention to these stories instead of straight up dismissing them. There are many legends about the Atlantic Ocean: lost cities, giant pyramids, little mermaids. But jokes aside, some of the accounts do make one wonder whether there actually is some degree of credibility to these tales after all. There's been a case where a mysterious red glow was spotted over the Atlantic Ocean by a pilot, one that sent the internet into a tizzy with dozens of theories, including comparison to the Stranger Things underwater portal. Another one was when a Google Maps image showed a bizarre pyramid-like structure at the bottom of the Atlantic. Not to mention the pilots who claim to have flown into an underground city via a portal at the bottom of the ocean, only to be greeted by intelligent beings who warned against the use of nuclear energy. Many accounts were later withdrawn or classified or disproved, but still makes one wonder, doesn't it? The US Navy apparently holds unseen videos of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, as the Department of Defense, DoD, prefers to call them, but will not release the footage publicly because it would harm national security, a Navy spokesperson said, claimed the Black Vault, a privately run archive of classified documents that are hell-bent on getting the US Navy reports declassified. In 2019, US Navy warships were swarmed by UAPs. Here's the radar footage that shows that, filmed in the Combat Information Center of the USS Omaha. There is even corroborative electro-optic data demonstrating a significant UAP event series in a warning area off San Diego. Here's the footage.
OD, if you can write a general lat long where we're at, and then the number of contacts you got, get the course and speed meters off them. You know what I mean? And roll to position to us. Like bearings. Might be helpful too. Eyes up. Eyes up.
System 2, maintain track as best you can.
Track 781 just sped up to 46 knots, 50 knots, closing in. Oh, actually 38 knots. Holy shit, going fast.
That one's pretty much perfectly 000 relative, right?
Yeah.
263 at 3 miles, 55 knots speed.
Mystery holes have been spotted on the ocean floor that is baffling scientists. These holes were discovered by oceanographers earlier this year, and they have no idea what made them or how they came about. However, UFO experts are certain the strange markings are proof of alien visits. We have long suspected aliens are using the ocean as a way of staying out of the way and exploring the Earth on their own terms. These holes simply cannot be explained any other way, as they appear closely aligned, in a regularly repeating pattern, with tiny piles of sediment piled around them. Anna Whitty, the author of UFOs, A Fundamental Truth, previously said that it is likely aliens have always been here and are living under the sea for protection. She claimed that by doing this they would escape disasters that devastate the globe every several thousand years, meaning they are more protected, and their technology and intelligence could continue on an upwards trajectory. There are multiple conspiracy theories out there about aliens in space and UFOs from distant planets. But the objects seen in and around our own water are ours to explore. By supporting ocean exploration with resources and technology in the same manner that we support space exploration, it would be possible to put the disputes to rest. After all, shouldn't we give our own planet the same amount of attention as we do to exoplanets? Recently, UFO hunters and enthusiasts were left in awe when they spotted a gigantic cigar-shaped object cruising near the space station. This sighting has reignited debates and sparked a frenzy of speculation about the possibility of extraterrestrial, life-monitoring human activities from the depths of space. As the live feed captured this mysterious object, viewers around the globe were mesmerized. The footage shows the mega UFO, accompanied by 2 glowing orbs, moving gracefully across the screen. The sight of this enormous craft, with its distinct shape and peculiar movements, has left many questioning the extent of alien technology and their intentions. Why was this object near the ISS? Was it a mere coincidence? Or is there a deeper, more profound reason behind its appearance? Adding to the intrigue, shortly after the sighting, the live feed was mysteriously cut off, leading to widespread speculation that NASA might be deliberately hiding evidence of extraterrestrial encounters. This isn't the first time such an event has occurred, and it certainly won't be the last. The timing of the feed cut, right after the mega UFO came into view, has led to numerous conspiracy theories and a growing belief that there is more to these sightings than meets the eye. With countless unexplained sightings and increasing interest in UFO phenomena, we continue our quest for the truth, pushing the boundaries of our understanding and seeking answers to the greatest mysteries of the universe. But before we dive deeper into this incredible sighting, let us first understand a little about the ISS and its fascinating history. The International Space Station is the largest single structure that humans have ever put into space. It is in orbit around the Earth, circling the globe every 90 minutes at a tremendous speed. If you know when and where to look, it is highly visible from Earth, appearing as a luminous moving point of light and rivaling the brilliant planet Venus in brightness. As a multi-nation program that serves as the home of astronauts and cosmonauts, the ISS has made it possible to send humans into space farther than ever before. Essentially, it has given humans a permanent residence in space, something that was earlier only pure science fiction. Like most space programs, ISS is proof of the lengths we will go to in the quest for knowledge. The space station has made it possible for people to have an ongoing presence in space. Human beings have been living in space every day since the first crew arrived. But ever since it was launched into space, there have also been many unexplained sightings of unidentified flying objects near the station, which have sometimes coincided with NASA shutting the live feed shortly after. Our sun, hanging daintily in the center of the solar system, is a single star. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has 400 billion additional stars, all doing a similar sort of thing, with a potential 6 billion Earth-like planets orbiting them. And once you consider there could be 2 trillion other galaxies in the universe, then you're suddenly dealing with numbers so huge and digits so many that they'd even make a mathematician cry. With billions of potential receptacles for life spinning out there in space, surely at least one of them is inhabited. UFO hunters have been convinced the proof is out there after they spotted a mysterious cigar-shaped UFO on a NASA live feed. For years, conspiracy theorists have been religiously monitoring outer space from the live stream on International Space Station. And one sighting left the enthusiasts shocked when a megaship was spotted cruising along with 2 orbs just above the Earth. The footage shows a cigar-shaped object moving to the right on the screen, while the 2 orbs below appeared to be flashing and moving forward. And they suddenly go dimmer towards the end of the footage. Did the dimming occur because whatever it was knew that it had been spotted? UFO enthusiasts believe that shortly after these objects come into view, NASA, either purposely or unknowingly, quickly dim out the footage or cut off their feeds. But some people dismissed it as lens flare. NASA did not confirm the sighting, but a few months later in October 2017, discovered an interstellar object, Oumuamua, passing through the solar system. Oumuamua is a rocky, cigar-shaped object and measured up to 400 meters long. Many renowned scientists also believe that Oumuamua could be an artificial artifact. There have also been many sightings of cigar-shaped flying objects other than Oumuamua. Starting 2008, there have been numerous reports of sightings of strange cigar-shaped UFOs. Dozens of astonishing UFO sightings, witnessed by pilots and classified as near misses, have been released by the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. The detailed list of reports covers UFO or so-called unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP sightings, from January 1st, 2008 to the present. The list published on the Black Vault site covers more than 60 near-miss encounters with unexplained objects recorded by trained pilots in just 14 years. The sightings have been reported in abundance in the last few years, with conspiracy theorists having eagerly engaged in speculation about what kind of creatures could be operating the gigantic oblongish objects. Californians have spotted a cigar-shaped craft hovering in the sky above the state, akin to previous, similarly shaped UFOs earlier seen in the area. A puzzling footage showed a rather long, dark object that emerged on 31st January 2021 under the caption "UFO over the Pacific" and instantly drew a slew of responses and went viral. A silver, cylindrical object with no visible wings or windows and a linear shape. The object was filmed at 4 p.m. One can just see it cruising over the horizon. The visibility is very good, and there are no clouds to speak of because there is nothing in the way of this object. Earlier in the same month, another recording of what seemed to be a similar craft in the night sky was shared. Such objects have been seen in the U.S. multiple times, with the frequency of sightings increasing as the years progressed. A new declassified U.S. government report on UFO sightings by U.S. troops has revealed hundreds of new cases. The U.S. National Intelligence Office is now aware of 510 reported sightings, an increase over the 144 compiled in the spy agency's first 2021 assessment. Nearly half of the new sightings were deemed unremarkable and attributed to human origins, according to the report. However, more than 100 of the encounters remain unexplained. The report says that encounters with UFOs, which the government calls unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, continue to occur in restricted or sensitive airspace, highlighting possible concerns for safety and national security. The report was issued in part to help destigmatize experiences with UFOs and improve air safety. While public authorities are dealing with bizarre cases and increased sightings, scientists, on the other hand, keep hypothesizing unimaginable statistics for alien visitors in their studies. A recent study had also concluded that there could be around 4 quintillion of such spacecrafts zipping around our solar system. That's 18 zeros, in case you're wondering. Each could be a visitor from another star, and each possibly artificially created. That might seem like a lot, but the solar system is vast, and the space between our star system and our closest neighbor, Proxima Centauri, is even more vast. Actually, finding any of these 4 quintillion possible mysterious objects for closer inspection would be really, really hard. To be clear, the study isn't claiming there are quintillions of alien crafts zooming around our corner of the Milky Way. After all, not even Avi Loeb has ever said that Oumuamua is definitely a robotic probe or crewed craft. It's that there's a possibility. The scientists started with all the objects astronomers have detected that have come from outside the solar system. These are structures that could have originated from a nearby alien civilization beyond the sight of our probes and telescopes. Not too long ago, a report by the Pentagon revealed that while UFO sightings may be confirmed, aliens cannot. It is entirely possible that the strange flying objects seen by U.S. intelligence could be sophisticated tech built by other countries. While these aircraft remain unexplained, such proof coming from the ISS or from U.S. documents does answer some questions that remained largely hidden by the general public for decades. That aliens may have visited Earth, with or without our knowledge. There's always a possibility that these bizarre, unidentified objects are just some space junk or debris floating around. But we will never know for certain. Since the dawn of the space age in the 1950s, we have launched thousands of rockets and sent even more satellites into orbit. Many are still there. As long as humans have been exploring space, we've also been creating a bit of a mess. Orbiting our planet are thousands of dead satellites, along with bits of debris from all the rockets we've launched over the years.
We physicists say, follow the evidence. Follow the people who have access to the evidence. Now, this is right out of a Hollywood script. In the past, we've had farmers and suburbanites say they saw something out there. The burden of proof was on them to prove that they were extraterrestrial visitations. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And now we have this senior Pentagon official, former Pentagon official David Garouche, who says that there are evidence of not just the wreckage of UFOs, but an intact vessel, perhaps even the bodies. Now there is a debate within the Pentagon itself at the highest level, with different people within the military contradicting each other. And so I think that this is a good thing, because now perhaps the truth will come out.
In May 1957, an American combat pilot stationed in the peaceful English countryside was unexpectedly commanded to take to the skies and shoot down an unidentified flying object. Milton Torres, the pilot, pursued the target, which occasionally appeared motionless before rapidly accelerating to thousands of miles per hour. He locked onto the object and prepared to discharge his weapon, but it suddenly disappeared from radar screens. This peculiar encounter was just one of a few that occurred during the Cold War. Such urgent deployments remained infrequent until recently. Since the beginning of this year, the United States has deployed fighter jets to intercept not one, not two, but numerous unidentified flying objects over North America. A multitude of additional sightings have recently been reported across the globe. Mexico, the Middle East, Russia, Australia, all these locations have had numerous accounts of UFO sightings. Many describe these objects as orb-like structures or cigar-shaped formations. To say that it is disconcerting would be an understatement. A month ago, a traveler unknowingly captured an alleged UFO in the background while taking a selfie at a desert sand dunes. Ramiro Navarro revealed that he didn't notice the mysterious object in the photograph's backdrop until several weeks later. He took the picture during a visit to the Bilbao Dunes in Coahuila, Mexico. Navarro commented, "I went to the Bilbao Dunes a few weeks ago. What do you think? They noticed me, but they didn't take me away." An unidentified craft is observed on the horizon in the background. This comes after a UFO enthusiast captured new images showing a UFO soaring over the countryside of Devon. The eerie photographs depict an extraterrestrial flying saucer, as described by John Mooner, who captured the strange presence in June. Mr. Mooner stated that while scanning the skies for extraterrestrial activity, he spotted the mysterious object above the Tyne estuary. A glimmer of light instantly caught my attention as a metallic-looking object emerged from a cloud, he explained. I was completely astonished by what I witnessed. It was unmistakably a flying saucer with 2 black rectangular windows on the dome section of the craft and 4 black openings along the lower part of its structure. I could also perceive some kind of energy field emanating around it, he added.
And now we have this senior Pentagon official, former Pentagon official David Garouche, who says that there are evidence of not just the wreckage of UFOs, but an intact vessel, perhaps even the bodies.
The number of reported sightings has increased significantly since the whistleblower incident last month. Intelligence officials confirm U.S. has recovered craft of non-human origin, read the headline, leading to widespread chaos. A former intelligence official named David Grush revealed that the U.S. government has secretly retrieved intact vehicles and partial fragments that were not manufactured by humans for decades. Grush also mentioned that the military had discovered the deceased pilots of these crafts. Amidst all this, the Pentagon's investigation of UFOs has unfolded like a science fiction drama series, featuring emotions, accusations, allegations of hidden cover-ups, testimonies from long-silenced witnesses, and much more. It is highly likely that a leading streaming platform is currently producing a documentary on the subject. The Pentagon's inquiries into UFOs are becoming increasingly reminiscent of the X-Files series. Testimonies from various former officials involved in the investigations highlight the extraordinary nature of the interest in unidentified aerial phenomena. Although information about the military's questionable interest in alleged extraterrestrial phenomena had waned over the years, some of these recent claims have proven too extraordinary to disregard. In the latest episode of this real-life X-Files phenomenon, the U.S. is being urged to disclose evidence of UFOs following the whistleblower's revelations. Grush disclosed that when he shared classified information about these vehicles with Congress, he faced retaliation from government officials. He left his government position in April after a distinguished 14-year career in U.S. intelligence. Grush is not an eccentric individual. He is a highly decorated veteran. Several of Grush's former colleagues have supported his claims. Jonathan Gray, a current U.S. intelligence official at the National Air and Space Intelligence Center, confirmed the existence of exotic materials and added, "We are not alone." Another allegation suggests that the U.S. government may currently be engaged in reverse engineering the alien technology recovered from these UFOs. In a remarkable interview, U.S. Congressman Tim Burchett expressed his belief that the government has recovered a craft at some point and possible beings, referencing the shutdown of several high-altitude balloons. While the concept of the U.S. government recovering alien technology and subsequently concealing it is not entirely new, this theory, combined with the recent allegations, raises questions about the growing acceptance of UFOs and extraterrestrial technologies. These recent disclosures follow a surge in credible sightings and reports that have reignited interest in alien spacecraft and potential extraterrestrial visits in recent years. In 2021, the Pentagon released a report on unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, the preferred term among much of the extraterrestrial community, replacing UFO, which documented over 140 encounters with UAPs that could not be explained. The report followed the leak of military footage showing inexplicable events in the sky, with Navy pilots testifying to frequent encounters with peculiar crafts off the U.S. coast. One incident that exemplifies the strangeness of some of these claims is the Tic Tac UFO occurrence. In 2004, naval fighter pilots who had taken off from the nuclear aircraft carrier USS Nimitz not only encountered but also recorded a peculiar object that has since been referred to as the Tic Tac due to its oblong shape. The New York Times revealed this puzzling UFO encounter years later, and multiple eyewitnesses have come forward to describe what they witnessed. One of the 3 infrared videos recorded in 2004 and shared by the Times in 2017 displays an unusual oblong unidentified object, earning it the nickname Tic Tac. One of the pilots provided the following statement: "What struck me the most was its erratic behavior. It was behaving in ways that defy the laws of physics. That's what caught my attention. Because whether an aircraft is manned or unmanned, it still must adhere to the laws of physics." The Tic Tac bore no resemblance to any conventional aircraft. Some individuals believe it is evident that we are not alone, while others scoff at the idea as ludicrous. Still, there are those who hauntingly recount their own experiences of alien encounters during casual nighttime strolls or early morning dog walks. With increasingly bizarre reports from increasingly credible sources and basic mathematical probability, suggesting the likelihood of extraterrestrial life, skepticism is harder to maintain than to embrace. Although more UFO sightings have been officially registered, they are often accompanied by thorough debunking. This raises the question, what does one of the world's leading space agencies have to say about all this? Many have been curious, particularly following NASA's first public meeting on UAPs. A NASA spokesperson stated,
"The problem is the data. They have about 800 sightings of things over the years that kind of defy easy explanation, but the problem is the data is just not good enough to reach a definitive conclusion as to what the objects might be."
One of NASA's primary priorities is the search for extraterrestrial life elsewhere in the universe. However, to date, NASA has not found any credible evidence of such life, and there is no evidence to suggest that UAPs are of extraterrestrial origin. Nevertheless, we are exploring the solar system and beyond to help answer fundamental questions, including the possibility of other life forms. While certainty remains elusive, we believe that the truth will eventually emerge. Whether it be in a month or a decade from now, we will obtain answers. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to StarXtreme. There is a little space for everyone here.